Hey guys, this is Grace and welcome to another process video. This is the second video in my creative exercise series. This is a series that I am considering doing a whole year. I say considering because you never know what the year will entail for us, but that is my plan, that I am posting 2 videos based off of the Daily Creative Book by Todd Henry, and the link will be in the description box below if you're interested in the book. And today I am pulling prompt from January 28th, and it's titled Delusion. And this is something that I think is just a really good thought to think about, not just as creators, but just as people. So here is what, and I don't read the whole entire prompt because it is a whole, a page long, but I have highlighted some of the things that I thought was really good. And so that's what I read to you. So delusion, I don't want to alarm you, but there is a very dangerous narrative, and it's creating an epidemic of anxiety. The narrative that our author is saying is that you can be anything you want to be, and it's simply not true. The problem with this advice is that it focuses on the end result instead of the process. It encourages children to think about where they will end up instead of how they will get there. Instead of focusing on achieving the thing, focus on getting better at your craft. Instead of worrying about whether others notice you, focus on becoming more noteworthy in how you do your work. Choose to follow a narrative that's about getting better instead of arriving. Focus on process, not outcomes. So for this particular page, what I took from that prompt is the idea of focusing on the process and not the outcome. I did start off with a sketch just because it just helps me to, makes it faster for me to get started with my scrapbooking when I have a jump start. But one of the things that I kind of took in for the idea of focusing on the process and not the outcome is the fun left side, which is that it had a bunch of 3x4 photos that are vertical, and then in between that are these papers that you cut out, and then you just basically decorate it, embellish it however you want. And so that's what I was doing here. So first of all, the lines that I created inside, although I like doodling, I don't particularly like the imperfections of it, but I did it here because, again, I'm embracing the process and not the outcome. And to be honest with you, will I do it again? Maybe, but that's like not the norm for me. And so but I wanted to try it because, again, this is my thinking outside the box thing. Another thing that I was doing here is I was just pulling a bunch of things that I thought would work. Would I ever use a bike? I don't know. But it actually worked for this particular page because it's a summer page. That was another thing that was in my head. It's like, I am not going to overthink this. I am not going to worry that it's January and I'm scrapbooking a summer layout. Like, I'm just not. And then another thing that I was considering is like, how, I guess at the end of the day, I wasn't thinking of how it will look like. I didn't know it when I started. I mean, I had a sketch, but I didn't know how it will end, because even when I kind of like was putting things here and there, even at the end, it did not look like the way I had started with, especially with the little boxes here and there. Like, for example, this paper that I'm cutting, initially I thought that this was going to be just like one of the papers instead of being on top of the paper with lots of flip-flops, like that kind of thing. I didn't have the end in mind. I had some idea, because I had the bare bones kind of planned out for me, but as far as what it will look like at the very end, I did not have that. And I got to tell you, it was very freeing, just being in the moment, trusting the process, not worrying about how this will go. And I was just basically playing around. And that is exactly how I wanted this exercise to be, or this whole year to be. It's like playing around and thinking outside the box. Now, I had this vellum scallop piece, and by the way, all of the papers, all the products that I'm using is from my kind of summer pack. I had started to put together like mini kits that are themed, so that when I'm working with like beach or summer, I just pull that bag out and it has a lot of my summer or beach themed products. And I found this one. It's a leftover from another project, and I decided, well, what if I cut that off and kind of make it seem like it's waves, but I didn't like it upside down because then it looked like mountains. So I just did a scallop, and I decided, hey, you know what, I'm gonna glue it with just liquid glue, and I think it's gonna dry clear. But guess what, it didn't. So like this layout, you will see it at the end of the photos at the end of the video, is that you could see the smear of the glue. Do I care? Maybe. I mean, but I feel like it's a lesson learned, right? Like I would remember that particular glue does not dry clear, and it will show on vellum. So it's just a lesson learned, and I'm okay with that. I think that's part of the beauty of the process, is that you'll learn. You learn as you go. You realize the mistakes that you make, and then you won't do it again, or that you'll do something differently. So let's talk a little bit about these photos. These photos are of me and my family. I think this was summer of 2021, and we always go to California because that's where my husband and my parents live, and so we always make the trek to go there in the summer. And then we always go to this one beach, Huntington Beach. If you're from Southern California, you know where that is. And we always, whenever we go there, it doesn't matter what day it is. It just so happens that it always gets like, we have the marine layer. I don't know why we're never lucky to get the sunshine, but we always get the marine layer. But this time around, there were a few things that I wanted to remember, like my youngest son. He was not as scared to go into the waves as he did before, which was really kind of cool. And then we rented one of those like 4-person bikes, or no, I think it's a 2-person bike, and then like a seat at the back. I think there was only, or maybe there was only one person pedaling. I can't quite remember because it's been a while. But so whoever's in front will pedal, and so we can move, and then everybody else just kind of just was in it for the ride, and it was really fun. We went just up and back to the boardwalk, or the paved road that they have there, and it was really fun. And I have pictures of like what we saw, dispersed with pictures of when we were playing in the water. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to just remember and to capture. And I really, really, really enjoyed this creative exercise of not thinking about the end. And I got to tell you that Todd Henry's thoughts of like, how we create an anxiety because we want to know right off the bat what the end product is. And I see that with my kids. Like I see the anxiety with them because, when we talk about, when people ask like, what do you want to do after college? Because I do have a kid that's graduating as a senior in high school. And the same thing with my oldest, he would be asked, and there's an anxiety, and we always have to tell them that it's okay if you don't know exactly what you want, or you just have to just make the right next step. That's what I always tell them, because even with me and my husband, I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom for the rest of the time, but then situations happened and had an opportunity happen that I went back to school, and I'm now working, and my husband has a different job now too. So you just never know. Anyways, enough of my ramble. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.